Alright, there we go. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Sorry about the wait. I didn't plan on being. I got a little distracted. I was actually... I got a little distracted. I was actually watching something. I was watching Invincible, which is... I got a little distracted. But, geez, it's been a while. I know I had mentioned yesterday I was going to be streaming. I know yesterday I had mentioned about possibly streaming. And here we are. I decided to do Minotaur Hotel after I actually... Two things. One, there was a comment on, so I'm gonna turn the volume up just a little bit. I feel like it's really low for this. It is low. Okay. It's a little better. It's not too loud, right? But anyway, one, I got a comment on one of my old Minotaur Hotel videos that I responded to. And then I was looking, and I was like, wow, I didn't realize it had been nearly 4 months since I had last done a stream for this game. And I want to do more. I liked Minotaur Hotel. I don't know about other people, but I like Minotaur Hotel. So I'm going to be doing Minotaur Hotel. Streaming probably same thing about yesterday, about an hour, 2 hours maybe. We'll see where things go. I'm excited though. So let's get started. Making sure everything's set up. Alright, let's get started. I kind of forgot where we last left off. I'm going to be honest. It's been a little while. Alright. As soon as you got out of your room, you find Astrian sitting at the dinner table, looking at his own hand speechless. Just the sound of your footsteps makes his head jerk to you, ears whipping around. Visions of Argos, the snake, are already flashing through the Minotaur's mind. You tell him to stay. Today you'll deal with the foreman by yourself. I'm not liking this. Argos was the snake guy that we haven't really dealt with since, man, like the first chapter? After the prologue? You make your way down. The snake's wooden flute beckons you. The melody is at times disconcerting in how large the gaps between the notes are. So much is left to the imagination. It's more of a tribal call than it is a song, one you'd hear as a sign between villages sending messages to each other. The notes draw your steps forward. The loose rocks at the bottom of the hotel shudder as you hop from one to the other. It's a balancing act, each one a scale shifting under your weight. You keep your feet tense and arms spread out. At times it is almost as if the rocks sway in your favor to keep your center of gravity aligned. Okay, there we go. I had to I was refreshing because I couldn't see anybody's responses. For a moment. Hello, Grizzly, and hello, Diego. You feel the sun's warmth on your head first, combing over your skull. Then the pinks, oranges, and blues of the land are laid before you. There at the threshold, it's clear how the wind howls and groans as it slithers into the hotel's cave and crawls upwards. A constant chilly breeze prickles your skin, but it's not altogether unpleasant. The cold makes your own inner warmth all the more alive. It is you, a flickering speck of humanity, against the unyielding majesty of this haunted valley. Turn on slightly. Got a little better. And yet, the snake's song hangs heavy. At times, Argos runs out of breath and a dry cough cuts its way through the valley. Oh, I'm not looking forward to this guy. Oh, thank you, Jason Ingram. Hello, Fallenwolf. I am a new subscriber. Just want to say I love your videos, and I hope you play more Minotaur Hotel. I will definitely be playing more Minotaur Hotel. It's just been a while. I almost... It's sad to say, but I almost forgot about Minotaur Hotel. I really enjoy it. I just kind of forgot about it, and I really hate to say that. Because it's a very well-written visual novel. Like, it's very, very well-written. It's like a novel. It's very well done. He does not seem to notice you. The snake's gaze remains on his little wooden flute as if there was little else in the world aside from it. Diego, no, this is not new. Minotaur has always been out for a while. I've streamed it quite a few times. There's a playlist for it if you want to check it out. I've streamed this though quite a few times though. This is actually part 7, so I just haven't streamed in about 3 months though. It's been a little while. In fact, he sways from side to side, either nauseous or dizzy, breathing through his mouth. I'm trying to remember what voice I gave him. Ah, what a wretched life, to be whipped by this merciless sun, frozen by the fearsome night, parched by the dead air, and worst of all, starved by human harshness. He seems to not have noticed you, but he perches atop the statue and speaks with all the dramatic flair of an actor on the stage. I was about to do. I'm like, wait, that's my voice. I'm here, you know. I can hear everything you were saying. Ah, my lord, when did you arrive? Please forgive my insolence. He scrambles about, smoothing over his cloak to make it tidy and presentable. Again, my lord, I am frightfully sorry for my inadequate state. Did something happen to you? Is there any problem? It happens that I have starved a bit over these last few days. I could only scavenge enough bugs to lull myself to sleep. As for water, all I could find was a muddy, stagnant puddle inside a grotto. Were I not a snake, I would have perished already. Please, my lord, today I have come to your doorstep to ask, beg in truth, for you to reconsider. Grant me the rights to summon my own food and home. But why should I do that? You are here to torture Astrian, which, as you can see, is not something I intend on allowing. Why should I give you anything? Why do you think you are even welcome here in the first place? But my lord, I am your most loyal follower. The Heifer's punishment is our duty, both yours and mine, and I am the one and only who should follow you to the very end. Sup, furry warrior, how you doing today? I was born to serve you. It is the reason why this valley begot me from its entrails. Please grant me food, and I shall prove my worth. My dedication is without bounds. For the last few nights, I have eaten nothing but insects, the lowliest creatures roaming this valley. Such indignity is unbecoming of my role as foreman, but that I will do 1,000 times if it means receiving your favor. Please, I can already hear the flowing waters of the sticks. Nah. Don't. Alright, I wasn't expecting that response from our character. Freaking Argos just comes over. He's like, oh, I'm begging you. He's like, please. It's like, I'm starving to death. And our character's like, nah. He's like, you don't need food. You're fine. You don't need any food. Nah, you're okay. You're perfectly fine. Nah. Oh, no. I don't like Argos. I don't care. Well, it was worth a try. See, I don't trust Argos. Even when we first met him, I don't trust him. Why does the snake character gotta be the sneaky one? Like, why we gotta perpetrate furry stereotypes? Like, why? Of course the snake's gotta be slithery and slimy and sneaky and cunning. Why? Why can't we just have a nice, friendly snake? You know? I'm just throwing it out there. For your information, I have indeed been living off of bugs. And I hate it. What a fiendish master you are! First you trick your one and only follower, he who awaited a lifetime for you, and now you would have him starve? How warm would it be to bathe your hands in my lifeblood? Is that what you desire? What if I do? Is there a rule against it? Oh my gosh! Why does our character sound so evil? He's like, what do you want to bathe your hands in my blood? And my character's like, and if I want to do that, what's wrong with that? It's like, whoa, my character, I want to remind you, my character's class is a humanity. He's supposed to be all about human. Diego, Minotaur Hotel is a visual novel. It's a visual novel that's been in the work for almost a year, probably. I would say at least probably almost a year now. If you're interested in downloading it, there's info in the description below. I know the team has a Twitter. They have a Twitter, and you can also download the demo of the game. I don't know when the last time it's been updated. I don't think it gets updated every month, though. I think it gets updated like every 2-3 months.
Which means we are kindred spirits, you and I. I know how you think. You want something else in exchange. Let's get down to business. If you like the hybrid so much, there is something I have which will interest you. It is quite a simple affair. I found a bottle of wine, that special kind which heals the Minotaur. It is quite a rare thing nowadays, since it cannot be willfully created by the masters. It has a penchant for appearing mostly, but not exclusively here in the valley. Of course, I am forbidden from drinking it, and it's useless to me anyway, so I am willing to part with it, if certain conditions are met. What do you say, master? Are you willing to barter with this humble servant?
Yes, but I want to know. Yes, but I want to know exactly what your terms are before I get involved.
Of course! In fact, I want you to listen very carefully to my conditions. They are very specific. I've been thinking about them for such a long time.
When you put it like that, it's almost as if there was some kind of twist. Such an honorable snake like yourself wouldn't do that, would you?
Me? Trick the master? I'd never! You see, it is my duty to make sure you become a right and proper master, and that includes teaching you the importance of contracts, both written and verbal. Let's discard all pretense, yes? Allow yourself to be tricked, and I will take the opportunity.
Hello, Nivik, how are you doing? It's been a while since I've seen you, Nivik. How are you doing today? Hello.
But know that it is for your own good, master. It'll be a magnificent learning opportunity either way. Now, I shall recite my conditions.
Good, go on. Let's get this over with.
Just last night, after I finished my prayers and rites, I found a bottle of wine. Now, I thought about giving it to you. After all, you are the Lord. But why not take this as a fun bonding moment? I shall give it to you if you do this one specific thing for me. I want you to prove your piety to the divine. After all, the realm's master is supposed to serve them and enact their will, is he not? In ancient times, a hecatomb would be enacted. 100 bulls would be sacrificed to the gods. But today's humans seldom enjoy getting their hands dirty. Here's what must be done. Further to the east, you shall find a dry riverbed beside an old, broken-down set of clins. There you'll find a fitting sacrifice. There should be a bundle of a hardened lump, not too different from coal, inside the most decayed of all clins. You must take the offering and burn it, dedicating it to the divine. To the south of the hotel, the valley goes further down, until it reaches a plateau. There is a path to its top, where you will find shrines to a few deities. Old majestic shrines to the gods, created by the deities themselves when this realm was born. Pick any of the god-made shrines and burn the offering.
Wait, so you'll only give me this bottle if I venture into the valley and fetch this thing? First of all, how can I be sure this is not a fake bottle? I don't know, Diego. It's been out for a few months, though. If you would probably have to check either the Twitter or the information down below, but I wouldn't be able to tell you right now. But if you really want to check, though, the information is down in the description below. At least for like the link to the demo and whatnot. How can I know you're not giving me false directions? Is it absolutely necessary for me to prove the piety to the gods in this way? Can't I just order you to give me the bottle since...
Pah! In the name of the gods, why so many questions, master? I am giving you a kind offer, I'll admit, expecting some effort on your part. And this is how you repay me? Pelting me with questions?
By the way, I didn't skip that intentionally. That was actually the VN, so... I didn't skip that on purpose.
Very well, let's make a game out of this, shall we?
I've had enough of your games, Argos.
Would you rather I answer none of your inquiries, master?
Fine, what do you want?
I will repeat everything I just said. You can interrupt me at any time to ask what you want, but I will only allow you to do it 3 times.
3 times?
Yes, 9 terms, 3 interruptions. I would say that is fair.
Oh, no, I don't... This snake is so sneaky, so we have 3 times. I don't... let me save. Let me save. Alright. You decide to be happy with what you're given and not press Argos for more. Fine.
Splendid. I will repeat my terms then.
Oh, so we have to, okay, so we got a question. I kind of want to ask you, I kind of want to ask the audience which ones I should question, but maybe that's not the best idea. I'm very curious how this is going to go.
Just last night, after I finished my prayers and rice, I found a bottle of wine.
I want to question that statement, but I want to go through it all again before I question.
Now, I thought about giving it to you. After all, you are the Lord, but why not take this as a fun bonding moment? I shall give it to you if you do this one specific thing for me. I want you to prove your piety to the divine. After all, the realm's master is supposed to serve them and enact their will, is he not? In ancient times, a Hearth code would be enacted. 100 bulls would be sacrificed to the gods, but today's humans seldom enjoy getting their hands dirty. Here's what must be done. Further to the east, you shall find a dry riverbed.
Oh, I know, Jason. I'm going to read them carefully. I'm reading through the whole thing, and then I'm going to go back and read each one quietly. I believe there's a trick. I can tell that Argos is very sneaky and cunning, so that's why I'm like, I only get 3, and I want to use them wisely.
Here's what must be done. Further to the east, you shall find a dry riverbed beside an old broken-down set of clins. There you'll find a fitting sacrifice. There should be a bundle with a hardened lump, not too different from coal, inside the most decayed of all clins. You must take the offering and burn it, dedicating it to the divine. To the south of the hotel, the valley goes further down until it reaches a plateau. There is a path to its top where you will find shrines to a few deities. Old majestic shrines to the gods, created by the deities themselves when this realm was born. Pick any of the god-made shrines and burn the offering.
Okay, so let's go back. So just last night, after he finished my prayers and rites, he found the bottle of wine. I want to question him, but I feel like questioning him for this is going to be pointless because it doesn't really matter, because he said outright that he's not unless he said we have to do this. So as much as I want to know where he got the bottle of wine for, I don't feel like it matters right now. Or maybe it does. Is there more than one bottle of wine? Or is it like he only has that one? And I'm doing this like an actual game. I'm not gonna like reload saves if I feel like I messed up. If I messed up, I messed up. That's if I messed up, I messed up. Like, I'm not gonna go back and, reload a save. I want to do this properly. I'm gonna skip this one. Now, I thought about giving it to you. After all, you are the Lord, but why not take this as a fun bonding moment? I shall give it to you if you do this one specific thing for me. I want to question that. Well, what's the next one? I want you to prove your piety to divine. After all, the realm's master is supposed to serve them and enact their will, is he not? Is there not another way, though, that I can prove my worth, though? Can I prove my piety some other way?
I would welcome your faith in all shapes, but it's the wine you seek, then I shall only cooperate if you enact this rite. I would loathe to see you making an inadequate offering, like the ones in the modern religions. Impious wretches, the lot of them.
Okay, so he's only going to, I got 2 more, so he's only going to accept that. That's definite. 100 bulls will be sacrificed to the god, but humans seldom enjoy getting their hands dirty. Okay, there's no point, there's nothing, I feel like I can't really question this, because I don't have 100 bulls to sacrifice. Further to the east, you shall find a dry riverbed beside an old broken down set of clins. Okay, the structures there are pretty detailed. Then you'll find a fitting sacrifice. There should be a bundle with a hardened lump, not too different from coal, inside the most decayed of all clins. Keep going. You must take the offering and burn it, dedicating it to the divine. To the south hotel, the valley goes further until it reaches a plateau. Old majestic shrine to the gods created when this realm was born. Hold on. One of them I want to use for 9, but the last one I'm not sure. Can I question him about the bundle? How do I know how do I know that's going to be there?
You can trust me, I left it there myself for you to find, my good lord. It should be easy to find. It's just sitting there inside the broken clin. It was used for cooking clay pots long ago, but it's useless now. Just open it up and the sacrifice will be in front of the door. May I add, there are some other trinkets behind the clins too, if you want to check that out.
That sounds needlessly convoluted. Why didn't you just give it to me? Why do I have to go all the way there to find it? Jason, no spoilers. I want to figure this out for myself. I appreciate it, though, but I want to figure it out for myself.
To test your faith, of course. A sacrifice is only worthy the effort required to perform it. If I gave it to you, it'd be no sacrifice at all.
Okay, so we did question number 6. You must take the offering and burn it, dedicating it to the divine. Okay. To the south of the tower, the valley goes further down until it reaches a plateau. There's a path to its top where you'll find shrines to a few deities. The last one, I'm going to use the last one for this one. Old majestic shrine to the gods created by the deities themselves when this realm was born. Pick any of the god-made shrines and burn the offering. Any of the god-made shrines. So, the way he's saying that, are there shrines that are not from the gods? Is what I'm trying to think cunningly. And that's the only thing I can think of. Perhaps there's ones that are not from the gods. No, it's okay, Jason. I do appreciate it. But, like, when I play these, I want to figure it out for myself. And I want to play, like, a real video game. Like, I want to play it, like, if I mess up, I mess up. If I mess up so badly that it's you know, if I mess up too badly, I'll reload the save. But I want to play it for myself and figure things out. I'm going to question this. One of the god-made shrines. Are you implying one of them is not god-made?
Perhaps. Oh my, aren't you a sharp one?
Oh, we got him on one of them at least.
One of the shrines, the smallest, shyest one by far, is dedicated to some forgotten deity dating back to who knows when. Such a diminutive thing. It's just a cavern, a pile of rocks with a lace of fabric tied around it. I suppose it's some ancient form of worship. Whatever it is, I assure you, it pays no homage to the Olympians, and that should be reason alone to avoid it. Worst of all, I am afraid it was erected by the bull himself. It has no legitimacy. Ignore it. I have no duty to give you the bottle should you offer the sacrifice to it. With that said, any one of the god-made shrines will do, and I really do mean it.
Alright. So we at least got one of them properly correct. So definitely now we know that one of the shrines was not god-made. So now we know that one of them, we could have, oh, I'm glad we asked that. Okay.
I hope you're satisfied with your inquiries, Master.
So that's the task at hand then. Make a sacrifice to prove my piety to the gods, and then you will give me the bottle.
Haven't I kept my word so far, Master?
I'll think about it. Maybe I should go ask Astrian, get a heads up on what I might find here.
Must you always involve the prisoner in all your affairs? Very well then, go back to the creature. However, when you climb up the stairs and up to your hotel, make sure to climb 2 steps at a time. After all, I don't know how much longer I can keep holding on to this bottle without letting it slip and shatter. I can be so clumsy sometimes.
Excuse me?
Yes, I do think that is a thing that might happen if your devotion to the gods is not proven in, let's say, 2 days. Does that work for you?
Wait, 2 days? You can't be serious. That wasn't part of the deal.
Oh, so you think piety is something someone can procrastinate on, is it? Well, that's just wonderful. Some master you are.
I found the trick that it has to be to a god. It has to be to a god-made shrine, and that it cannot. It has to be to a god-made shrine, and it can't be. It can't. The one in the. If I do it, the one in the valley, he said one of them is not a god-made, so I have to definitely avoid that one.
You know, I'm beginning to have second thoughts about this bottle. Maybe you really are not worthy after all. Say, I am feeling awfully thirsty this morning.
Fine, 2 days it is, so long as you don't make up any more stupid rules. Do we have a deal? The snake slithers closer to you. You flinch for a second, but when you look back, you see his hand outstretched towards you. Argo sports the widest grin he's given you so far.
Sounds good to me, Master.
I don't want to shake your hand, your slimy, dirty hand. You have options, and whatever loops he might make you jump through are worth the effort. Or worth the reward. You shake Argo's hand, but you make your disgust clear by wrenching your hand out of his grip when it's over. The serpent laughs at you.
Oh, well then, no time to waste. Up you go!
Oh boy. We got 2 days. That's not good. You turn around and start walking back towards the cave. This is not how you expected your morning to start. As you make your way, Argo's words echo in your head, and the full weight of the task in hand begins to dawn on you. As you recall his last line, you notice your feet are picking up the pace.
By the time you make it to the staircase, you're on a full-on sprint. You curse the snake as you indeed climb 2 steps at a time, just like he said you would. Things are off to a bad start. You haven't even begun your task, and you're already jumping through Argos' loops. You arrive at the master's quarters, where Astrian is already dressed and waiting for you with a somber face. He's biting his lip, holding himself from asking any questions while you catch your breath. Good morning, Astrian.
Good morning, Master. How did it go?
Well, I have good news and bad news. You catch Astrian up on everything Argos told you. The contract, the bottle, your task, and a 2-day limit. You expected him to perk up when hearing about the wine bottle, but it seems like he contained his excitement, as if he was expecting the inevitable cavate. So yes, we have 2 days to go get the bottle. I've decided to come ask you what I'd be up against instead of going to the Labyrinth right away. Astrian ponders on the situation for a moment, before his face eases into a smile, strained with a lot of baggage behind it, but a smile nonetheless.
I appreciate your concern, Master, but I don't think the bottle's worth the trouble. The Labyrinth hosts a lot of dangers I would rather you be spared from. I can heal just fine on my own. I will just take longer.
No, I mean it. If I can help you get back to your former self, I will do everything I can.
There's also the matter of the internet project. I think this will distract us from getting it finished. I fear that if we do not focus on it, we will lose some guests, or, even worse, failure to attract them in the first place.
But this is urgent.
We have a dilemma in our hands then. If we have to choose between one or the other, I suggest we focus on the internet project.
Wait a minute, maybe we can multitask.
Multitask?
Well, we have you, Coda, and me. Maybe we could split the task between us 3. Astrian flinches.
I would very much prefer not to be sent to the valley, Master. Besides, I had a conversation with Luke. I know he's upset with Coda, but maybe he can help with the other task. I know he has his issues, but after last night, he might be willing to help.
That sounds like a good idea. Maybe we should all meet at the lobby then?
As you command, Master. I will go look for them right away.
Half an hour later. You know, I do have to say, one thing I really enjoy about this VN is so far it sticks with its one setting, but despite sticking with its one setting, it does a fantastic job of making you feel like there's things happening. And that's really hard for a lot of stuff to do. Like, a lot of VNs and such are always zipping from place to place, but this one, for the most part, it's in one set location, but a lot is constantly happening. There's a lot of character interaction. There's a lot of, a lot of intrigue with the characters and the, the location itself.
This is preposterous, the nerve. I will happily leave my post at the restaurant to help you, Mr. Mock, but I expect respect in return. So far, 15 minutes of my time have been wasted by this oaf.
Coda, I know you're both upset at each other, but can we please keep it civil? This is important.
All I'm saying is we can get started right away, just you, Astrian, and I. I cannot fathom any task that cannot be performed without... Oh, good morning, Mr. Astrian. Mr. Walker.
Yeah, shut your trap. Don't act like I didn't just hear you talking Oh, sorry, I'm trying to remember this. Yeah, shut your trap. Don't act like I didn't just hear you talking shit. Howdy, Mark. Sorry for the delay. Astrian took a sweet time finding me. I wasn't exactly in my room, let's just say. So what's this about? Well, we have a situation on our hands. As you're both aware, we're doing everything possible to establish an internet connection in the hotel. Dang, that's some good news there. I haven't talked to my ma in a hot minute. It is, but we seem to have stumbled into another problem that needs our attention. And it looks like we're understaffed, which is why we called you, Luke. The Master will be going to the valley below the hotel today and could use some assistance with it. And we will also need to work on establishing the internet connection. There's 3 of us. I think we can be split into 2 teams. One will work on research and development, and the other will go explore the valley. Well, count on me, Mark.
Sure, as long as he's far away from me.
Well, I'll be. For once, we agree on something. Sure, I think we can manage. Watch exploration tutorial. Oh boy, yeah. I probably should watch the exploration tutorial. Yeah, definitely. I don't know what's going on. Exploring the Labyrinth works in a similar way to R&D projects. Your guests now have 4 additional stats: artifacts, mementos, surveying, and danger. The artifact stat affects your likeliness to encounter items that may boost your stat. Mementos will work towards finding old items that may reveal some insight on Ashian's past. Surveying acts differently. Surveying will yield random rewards. The higher the stat is, the more you may find. Surveying may also contribute towards artifact and mementos rewards. Artifact, mementos, and surveying are also cumulative. If you don't find an item on one run, your unspent points will be available next session. One last thing, keep an eye on your danger stat. If danger is the highest total stat in your exploration team, there's a chance the Labyrinth's forces will attack your guest. This may leave your guests unavailable for a couple of days. If this happens, you won't be able to assign them to a task, so it's not worth the risk. Remember, you can split your guests any way you want between the teams. Ooh, we're getting into some interesting stuff now, skip tutorial. Okay, so these, I can't take, okay, so I can't take these ones out of R&D team. I can't take Ashian and Kota, so I guess I have to put Luke into Send to Explore. Okay, Artifacts 1, Surveying 3, Danger 2. Okay, so his Surveying, so his other stats are higher than Danger, so he shouldn't get in any danger. Okay, so finish. That's kind of interesting, okay. With the 4 of you assigned to your roles, you bid Ashian and Kota farewell as Luke and you head towards the staircase leading to the valley. But yeah, like this thing, Furry, 4-letter words. 4-letter words is, yeah, I'll get to it. I'll see about, I'm probably not going to record today because I'm streaming on here. But I'll see about trying to record an episode either tomorrow or, what's today? Either tomorrow or Wednesday. But, yeah, I was going to record 4-letter word. This somebody mentioned this, and I realized it's been so long, and I'm trying to catch up with some of the VNs. I mean, 4-letter words, really, there's only, like, one video I need to make, and then I gotta wait till it gets updated. The valley is laid bare ahead of you in all its curves. Rivers and rocks start to snake across the landscape, guiding your vision to the orange and blue horizon. The air is somehow both chilly and humid. It blows against your chest and crawls around to your spine, making your hair stand up and your cheeks flush. The days spent inside the hotel have left you used to its sterile, stagnant odors. This land defies that entirely. The very scent is alive. A thick cloud of, like I said, forgive me for some of the words I can't get. Just because I write, just because I'm a writer doesn't mean I know every single fancy word. A thick cloud of pourpure wafts up as if a light drizzle had just fallen over the valley, along with the scent of herbs and shallow vegetation. You can't help but shiver. You take the final step toward the sun and out into this God's forsaken land. Luke and you follow the snake's instructions to set out to the east. For a while, conversation flows between the two of you. However, the hike ahead of you is long and arduous, and the sweltering sun refuses to yield. One can't keep talking for long under these circumstances. I hope these guys brought water. You settle into a rhythm and you fall into a trance. Oh, it's real pretty. Leave a place unattended for too long, and something thicker than silence takes root. It burrows itself and leaves only its eyes out, peeking from the sand. It spreads its roots, grows branches, blooms its flowers, and waits till a wandering soul passes by, close enough to graze at its spine. It lowers its branches to grip you and pull you back to your place of belonging. They prickle the back of one's skull and raise the hairs at the nape of one's neck. It wants you gone. These creatures are not welcome to living. Something as shy as one's breathing is enough to tense their branches, contracting them into gnarled talons. But trudge on. Once a place is taken over by these cobwebs, it's bound to take a while to banish them all. Claim the land, crush the pebbles under the might of your stampede. With your stomping gait, break them open to reveal the jagged flesh within. Leap on top of the precarious stones, feel them shifting and rebalancing under your weight as they threaten to topple. Jump off to the next, land soft-footed, and may your heel land without a peep from the rock. Taste your own swaying step as you climb a soft sanded dune. Have no shame when it grows steep, but trudge on like a beast and slash your claws into the sand's tender chest. Rest your hand out as if it was a pagan ritual, as if instead of stray sand, an enemy's lifeblood sprayed out. When your breath quickens and sweat drips from your brow, glance at the horizon and hear its cries against your might. Let rage shimmer at the top of your throat, but swallow it and tread on, champion. Know well this is your valley, a cursed land bequeathed by the gods to humans to do with as they please. Its pebbles threaten to trip you, but are cleaved instead by your march. Its precious stones shift back and forth to topple you, but are left turned and exposed. The vegetation reaches out to pull you back by the ankles and shoulders, but your will is sovereign. In your wake, all that is left are broken twigs and dried leaves. Have no mercy for this barren soil. Crush it under your heel. You are the realm's master, so let it fear you your might. I'll get tongue-twisted over there. Just as the sun reaches its apex, half a dozen structures crop up over the horizon. There's a human regularity to their placement. By then your clothes are drenched and your face is caked with a layer of sweat, oil, and dirt, but no hunger gnaws away at you, nor do your eyes grow weary. In fact, the idea of reaching your goal and stopping makes you restless. As you approach, it becomes clear which is the one most decayed of them all. Some of its ceilings has collapsed, letting in a beam of sunlight. While Luke investigates the place, you search for the offering Argos described. You open the door of the cracked clean. Light pours in and a rancid smell creeps out. It clings to your nostrils and tongue, a metallic rank scent. It claws its way into your chest and flares the fire burning in you. The contents of your stomach boil up into your throat, and you cringe while trying to keep yourself together. The searing stench is unrelenting. It thrashes inside you, trying to grasp your heart, until a groan brings you back to reality. Inside there is a pit, more than 6 feet deep, dug out a long time after the Clin's original construction. Something shifts inside the Clin, a dark shape whose every movement is accompanied by the rumble of rock groaning against itself. There's a head with eyes aimed at you and swinging from left to right like someone tripped into a convulsion. The whole thing shudders as it comes back to life and throws an arm in your direction, but shrieks against the light coming from behind you. Oh geez, was that a monster? You jerk back in fright and in doing so swing the door open further. The thing recoils, shrieks again, and falls down into ruined weeping as its shape is revealed. It's pitch black and made of stone, but its form is human. In fact, it has the bountiful curves and long flowing hair of a woman. But below the waist there is nothing. Her legs have been smashed away and only dark clumps of jagged rock remain. The thing switches back and forth between recoiling from the light and throwing its arms in your direction. But even if it lunged at you, it would fail. The pit is too deep for the stone woman to reach you in her legless state. It is only then that you look downwards to a little bundle of leaves waiting for you a few inches from the door. It fits Argos' description. This must be what he wants you to sacrifice. You obtain the bundle. You take the bundle and close the door behind you. Holy shit, partner. Be more careful next time. Yes, that was scary. I think my curiosity got the best of me. But I got the bundle, I suppose. Listen, Mark, I think it would be best if I handled this just in case more critters jump at you and you ain't so lucky. May not look like it, but your old pal Luke's been through some shit. Tougher shit than this. You sure? Sure, I got this. You should get your ass back to the hotel. You let Luke explore the rest of the Clins and get ready for the long walk back to the hotel. Alright, before I forgot, Luke, Argos said something about looking behind the Clins. You might want to check that out. Will do, partner. Will do, pal. I said partner. Will do, partner. The expedition took you long enough, and if you don't want to be out here at nightfall, you need to return soon. You pack up and set out for home. Your first stop when arriving at the hotel is the lounge. Since you spent the last week in a place where food and drink are always at your disposal, you haven't felt this thirsty in a very long while. Your next stop is the master's quarters. You take a long shower to wash away all the grime and tension, and then sit on the couch to rest and reflect on the day. The bundle is sitting on the dinner table. Every once in a while, your thoughts drift back to it, and how little time you have left to sacrifice it. You can only hope that Luke discovers something that might help. Yeah, one day it's already passed by. After a while, you decide to go check your team's progress. Let's check in on the R&D team. The R&D team made some progress, but no project was completed. Let's check in on the exploration team. Your team got really lucky and found 6 raw materials, twice what you expected. Nice. Other than that, your exploration team didn't make any big discoveries. By the way, did you get a chance to look behind the Clin? Oh yeah, I was half expecting another one of those things to come jumping at me, but I did find something there. Luke hands you a clay tablet. You obtain a clay tablet narrating a man's account of one of divine nature. You can read it by opening the files in the menu. I want to read that right now. Let's read that now. Ledger. Would it be ledger? Or do we... Wait, I want to read the file. Can we read the file?
Nah, I want to read the file. You can read it by opening the files in the menu. Let me save first. Aha! Here we go. Let's read. Here we go. A clay tablet narrating a man's encounter with one of divine nature. For the Greeks, to be hybrid is to be a monster. The two are indissociable. Divine or not, a hybrid is a cursed, repulsive being which good people would do well to ostracize. This tablet is decorated with labyrinth lines at its margins. A clay tablet narrating an intervention from a concerned youth. The tablet reads, at the foot of Mount Aegean? Again, I'm not good with these terms. At the foot of Mount Aegean, on the Labyrinth Plateau, I found the Labyrinth, an old structure painted with the same crimson from Knossos Palace, built and carved with an expert artisan's loving care. Try as I might from atop the mountain, I could not learn its twists, for its shape shifted with each blink of my eyes. A club on my hand, father on my back, we ventured together, with the comfort of knowing that even if I failed, his pain would still cease. For 3 days and nights we wandered, hearing only the song of... I hate you trying to figure out these words. I know what it's supposed to be, but I don't know how to pronounce it properly. This is what happens when somebody tries to get fancy with their writing. Shadudis, I don't know. And the clopping of distant hooves, always just out of reach. The fiend toyed with us, never once showing his visage. I feared starvation would take my life and cried for fathers. On the 4th day, the creature showed itself. Pasiphae's hybrid monster. It was not the fearsome titan I was told ate the flesh of men. Its pink snout, shy horns, and glimmering eyes were that of a nursing calf. I challenged it to combat, certain that at long last I would have an end to the charade. But he bolted down his unending hallways, leaving behind only the silencing clops of hooves. I'm assuming that's Astrian? Well, it says mementos. I'm assuming that's something to do with Astrian. But yes, I cannot... I know how to write properly fancy words, I just don't know how to read them. So yeah. Alright. Well, that was that. After checking on your teams, you head to the lounge for dinner. Tonight's dinner isn't noteworthy. After all, Coda spent the day busy with other tasks, but everyone seems to be enjoying the night. The guests that worked in the internet projects around Astrian, they all seem to have grown quite familiar with each other over the whole ordeal. He smiles and laughs with their jokes and even plays along most of the time, but more often than not, his gaze drifts away just as his ears droop. Midway through the meal, Astrian excuses himself and bids everyone a good night. Just before leaving, he looks at you and nods. After finishing your meal and enjoying some time with the guests, you get up to return to your quarters. See you, Diego. However, as you walk toward the stairs, something catches your ears. Just further ahead, coming from outside the hotel, there's a plucking of strings. No melody ties these idle notes together, and each one hangs in the air until it silences itself. There's a sharp-edged twinge preceding each note, as if whoever played it had forced the string and let it out in agony. You follow the sound and open the door. The Minotaur's ears flick to catch your footsteps, and the doors groan, but his stare remains aimed at the stars. His middle finger caresses a string, then pulls it as it rolls on his skin. The Minotaur lets it hook on his nail and keeps pulling, forcing the string out as his hand hardens and contracts into a claw. He plucks the Lear's string with that same sharpness and cringes as he lets it go. A grunt escapes his throat and his tail thrashes. He lays a hand over the strings, seizing the dying hum, and lets his head hang. Good evening, my lord. Good evening, Astrian. Enjoying some fresh air? Yes. I needed to do some thinking and rehearsing. Is something the matter? The Minotaur hunches over his Lear, readjusting his hands upon it, trying to find a position that doesn't feel so awkward. His forearm twitches as he sucks in air in until his back expands, then lets it out through his mouth. I suppose it all became too much today. So many things have been happening all at once. Good things, but it's so much. It all bounced around in my head. All the people, all the tasks. The Valley expedition, too. So I came here
to think. Oh, if you want, I can go back and let you have your privacy. Sorry to interrupt. No, if you have a minute to spare, I'd like to bring a matter to your attention. Sure, go on. It's just, you don't have to do this. What do you mean? You don't have to. You shouldn't help me. Going out to the valley yourself, dedicating your time and getting in harm's way, for me, I will heal on my own, given enough time. Are you saying this because the expedition might interfere with the internet research? You don't have to worry about that. Now that we are split into teams, it's manageable. That's not it. He fingers the lyre strings, letting out an aimless hum of notes. I am afraid you'll be disappointed after this is all done. The Minotaur looks down and brings his legs together to support the weight of the lyre, and then raises both his hands to scratch and claw at the back of his skull. The fur at the back of his neck stands up as he keeps scratching, digging in with such a ferocity you would not be surprised to see tufts of hair coming out. All the while he mumbles and grunts under his breath, searching for words that will not come. I'm afraid I don't get what you mean. Sometimes it just becomes too much to me. Even if I enjoy the company, all the life, I can't stop myself wishing everything would stop. Well, you were locked away for a long time. It's no wonder it becomes overwhelming for you after all those years in a silent, dark room. It was still like that before that happened. My stomach twists and turns, fire crawls up to the back of my throat, and this dull nausea makes me hunch over. It feels like the whole world is about to fall apart at any moment. I just want it to stop. He hugs his lyre. When he tries talking again, the words get stuck in his throat. He hunches over to spit them out, but all that comes out is another groan. You don't seem too well. You might be having an anxiety attack, or perhaps you're panicking. I know you've been through a lot, and I can't see my words doing much to reassure you. I mean, how much do words mean? But I'll say it anyway. I'll do everything in my power to make the hotel fulfill its mission. Nothing bad will happen to you. The Minotaur's back straightens and his tail jerks along with his ears. He looks again to the stars, holding his instrument, just as a breeze passes by to send chills up your spine. Astrian snorts, shakes himself, and for a moment, it would seem as if a reinvigorated spirit is taking over. His voice, however, tells another story. When he speaks again, it comes out dulled, sluggish, with each syllable deliberately enunciated. This lyre, my lord, it does not look old, does it? Its strings will always give out such lovely notes, so easy to weave into a delightful tune. One by one, all of Astrian's anxious quirks, the hair standing up at the back of his neck, his hooves scraping against the ground, the fingers flickering over the strings, they all silence themselves. In its place is another being which, Alabat pacified, seems despondent in a whole new cold, controlled way. And yet, this lyre is older than any country back in the world of the living. I've played it ever since I was a kid. When my father sent me to the Labyrinth, I didn't get to take much with me. He thought it would be distracting, but a guard sneaked it in for me. It is so odd to me. For over a century, I tried learning how to use cutlery, and as you could see, I never succeeded. But it wasn't so when I was a child. I could learn anything back then, how to carve wood, shoot arrows, play this old friendly lyre. It helps me think. It drowns out everything else. Even just tuning it feels like it puts everything else in order. My old friend. Would you like to take a seat with me tonight? As turbulent as my mind may be, a little audience would be. I would enjoy your company. Chapter 12, The Concert. When you wake up the next morning, you feel the burn before you even... I feel so... Wait, let me say it. I feel so bad for Astrian. Like, it's like he's been through much. He's been through hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's just like, wow. Well, thousands. Thousands of years, right? When you wake up the next morning, you feel the burn before you even get up. Your legs haven't felt the sore in a while. You stretch your whole body, and that same soreness extends up to your back, but it's satisfying in its own way. Yesterday's expedition to the valley was a long hike, quite the welcome change of pace from all these days inside the hotel. Plus, you got a lot done in one day. When you look at the clock, you find it's already quite a bit later than your usual waking time. But after everything, You have earned a late start to the day. Breakfast must be quick to account for it, however. While Astria makes scrambled eggs, you go behind his back and prepare toast. When he puts the plate on the table and motions to prepare something else, you're surprised by making a sandwich with the toast and eggs. Oh, is that not a tad humble for the Rum's Lord? Maybe, but it's already late. What do you say we sit together and share a sandwich while we plan the day? Oh, I'd rather not repeat the other day's disaster, if you wouldn't mind. Well, wasn't cutlery the issue? And we are eating sandwiches today after all. I suppose there's no arguing against that. Before I sit down, is my clothing appropriate for the day? Let's change some stuff around. Well, the fur color, I'm always going to keep the fur color white because that's his natural fur color, and I feel like that's to show him our respect. But I can't... Oh, what is black light? Oh, the black looks so good on him. Brown looks good, too. Oh, I kind of want to change the fur color. No. We're going to leave it alone. That's his fur. I am going to change the uniform, though. I think it's time. Oh, he looks great. I do think... I'm definitely going to change the outfit. Lower clothes, we don't have anything yet. Yeah, lower clothes, we don't have anything yet. And neckwear, we'll keep the neckwear. I don't know, should I change his fur color? Okay, I'm going to ask you guys, should I change his fur color? And if I change his fur color, what fur color should I change it to? Or you think I should keep it white? I kind of feel like, drawn towards the brown. Leave his clothes like this, something funny happens later. What do you mean leave his clothes like this? Do you mean like the 40s clothes, or do you mean change it back to the modern shirt? I mean, I don't mind leaving it if it's something funny's gonna happen, but like, what do you, like, do you... Oh, keep the modern? Okay, we'll keep the modern. Keep the modern clothes on. Okay, so keep it everything normal. Okay, alright. Let me save real quick, just in case I decide to change up later. Alright, we'll leave it alone. Leave it alone. Alright, we're gonna leave it modern. Actually, keep it white. Okay, actually, though, real quick before I do something, I will be right back. I had to use the restroom. I will be right back in like a minute or two.
Alright, everyone, I'm back. Also, no offense, I was just looking at the comment right before I came back. You could take that comment on so many wrong levels. Jason was like, oh, Jason, the last thing you posted, I'm like, oh man, you can take that in such a bad way. But anyway, we're back. I'm back. Let's keep going. Ashton inspects his clothing and general appearance while you eat. Thank you. Thank you for your selection. Today might be an important day after all. If we get the bottle, yes. I must remind you that I still can heal without it. Our priority should be getting the internet up and running so as not to upset the guests. Based on how you describe it, and how much I hear about in the lounge, it seems to be essential to you all now. It would be a tragedy if we were to lose guests over this issue. It's annoying to live without it, sure, but I'd say we're doing a good job managing the hotel otherwise. We're facing a lot of challenges and doing our best. That speaks for itself. I doubt people would stop coming here over lack of internet. Besides, we can still, I hope, get both done by tonight. You take a bite of your egg sandwich. You sound optimistic, Master. We'll see. I hope Luke and Coda are more cooperative today. You finish your breakfast in silence, together, without any catastrophic cutlery situation. After cleaning the table of any breadcrumbs, you and Astrian walk towards the staircase together before splitting up. You head to reception while Astrian summons the others. There's Coda. Coda puts down the last dish of the batch and turns to the clock on the wall. 5 to 8. Very few guests have shown up for an early breakfast today. The only people so far were the South American workers. Coda had grown fond of their company these past few days, and they in turn enjoyed his gravelly voice and the jokes, smiles, and extended explanations he brought with each dish. Perhaps they were not used to being treated so well. And of course they loved his cooking, even if it was so distant from what their wives cooked back home. So there was a certain disappointment in the air when this morning, Coda didn't serve his usual steamed rice, grilled trout, and kopachi. Instead, the dragon had cooked quite the unusual special for the day. Still, Coda's cooking left nothing to be desired, and they chowed down nonetheless. A happy customer always cheered Coda up, but as the clock kept ticking, he began to wonder if the effort was worth it. Oh boy. Oh, good morning, Mr. Walker. Morning. Luke drags the stool back, plops himself on the other side of the bar, and rests his hands on the counter. Luke looks off to the side to the other guests chatting around. He swings his feet while twiddling his thumbs. Coda, meanwhile, looks down to wash some cups. He waits for the inevitable tasteless joke from the griffin. He doesn't look up, so sure is he that it's coming. But it never arrives. He gives Luke a glance, 2, 3, until they are staring at each other in acknowledgement. Coda pulls out a tray and places it in front of the griffin. You showed up on time. Luke looks down at his dish. Pancakes, fried eggs, bacon, and freshly squeezed orange juice. Yep, and you weren't talking shit about me when I got here, so I guess we both deserve a hooray. You give me more than enough reason to do that. Luke grabs a strip of bacon off the plate with his hands, dips it in the egg yolk, and opens his beak wide to swallow it whole. I'm sorry. Perhaps such a display would have brought dismay to Coda just a week before, but this time he finds himself unfazed by it. No, I didn't. I know I can be difficult to deal with, but that doesn't mean you should badmouth someone when he doesn't have a chance to defend himself. It ain't a gentlemanly thing to do. But you do have a point. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. The thing froze for a minute. Okay, it's working now. I admit I might have misjudged you, and in fact your eagerness to help Mr. Astrian and Mr. Mark has revealed a few qualities I must respect. You could have stood by and done nothing, but you offered your help for a risky, difficult task. That, I suppose, says more about your character than our petty squabble ever could. Luke smiles, cuts off a big chunk of pancake, and then folds it in half and slips the entire massive piece down his gullet. Even if, and I must be honest in this regard, your manners have a lot to be desired. Luke gulps and clears his throat while wiping his hand with the napkin.
He cuts a smaller chunk this time, one which would still make a human choke, and brings it to his mouth. I'm sorry. It's just that this is really I mean, it's delicious. Luke takes a sip of orange juice. You're alright though. We got a bigger hole in the fence here, and we'd be off more used to this joint if we didn't act like petty assholes to each. What am I? Hold on, my accent changed. Oh jeez. You're alright though. We got a bigger hole in the fence here, and we'd be more used to this joint if we didn't act like petty assholes to each other. Luke stretches his right hand to Dakota. The dragon hesitates. The griffin's scaly digits are covered in a film of egg yolk and bacon grease, fanning the embers of enmity back into flame. The blue dragon takes Luke's hand despite himself. He remembers as his palm meets the American's with an audible squelch that he can wash afterwards, swallowing his pride as readily as Luke swallows the remains of his breakfast. Peace restored, understanding replaces unease. Before long, they both look back to their first meeting and laugh. Oh, yes! Finally! We got some peace between the two of them. I was like, oh no. I was like, these two... I was like worried. Alright. Peace is restored in the kingdom. Peace is restored in the kingdom. Alright, Coda and Luke are back. Alright, I feel a little better about things. The two spend the following half hour without saying a word to each other, but not minding the company. They enjoy breakfast, get busy with basic chores, and greet other guests as the lounge fills up. The other guests whisper what a far cry this is from the bickering of the previous days. Also, hopefully my accents aren't messing anybody up. I'm trying my best here, so please forgive me. Oh. Look at Astrian's. I'm sorry. Look at Astrian's dopey face. He's so surprised. When Astrian walks into the lounge, he, like the other guests, cannot contain his surprise at seeing the two getting along. Luke, Coda, your presence is required in reception. Sure, partner. Let's do this. Indeed. You lean on the reception desk. You think back to how empty this place used to be and how busy it is now. Today is going to be another stressful day, but one could hope by the end it will all have been worth it. You don't have much time to reflect, however, since Astrian returns from the lounge much faster than you expected. To your surprise, Luke and Coda walk in behind him, still distant from each other, but not bickering. Well, it seems like everyone is here. So, we're a little tight on time and resources. Today is our last chance to get the bottle. We need to sacrifice the bundle we found yesterday somewhere in the Labyrinth. And we still have the internet issue to solve. Greta mentioned yesterday that we needed to rewrite 5 contracts and complete 5 tech schematic to get internet access. So far we have 12 and 3 respectively. And as far as the bottle is concerned, Astrian? Well, there's 3 spots that would need to be surveyed and 3 artifacts necessary. So far we have 3 and 1 respectively. If everyone is okay with it, we can spread our resources like we did yesterday. Should I assume you two don't want to work together again? Nah, don't worry about that. We will do what is necessary to help, yes? Well, that's good news. Thanks, you two. So that's the state of affairs. Now let's... Murray, I'm sorry. What is Ishmael? What are you doing here? What the fuck? Sorry, I thought no one was gonna be... I thought no one was gonna be here for a while. Ishmael awkwardly runs away towards the lounge, arms behind his back. Oh my goodness. So, anyway, you hear a banging noise coming from the lounge, followed by the sound of breaking glass and a shrill spree of cursing. It's just Ishmael tripping, you assume. Back in the lounge, there is the Hearth, which is besides a few couches and raised on the ground floor by a step. Quite a few people have tripped on the step. You've had several complaints about it. Tried using the Natal's mat to relocate it somewhere with less traffic, but it seems to remain stuck where it is. Maybe that's a contract in the way that it makes its position Natal a fixed point in space. I'll have to discuss it with Astrian at some point. And that's when it hits you. You had pushed Argos to say something, give you an idea that perhaps he shouldn't have.
With that said, any one of the god-made shrines will do. And I really do mean it.
You look to the lounge at the fire burning in the hearth. Perhaps the solution to your problem has been staring you right into the face, and you don't realize it. In fact, you think back to when Astria mentioned 2 days ago in regard to the basin and the bedrock of the Labyrinth. Millennia ago, it was a shrine to the god Hermes, patron of trade and messengers. There are other such locations in the realm dedicated to specific gods. Perhaps you don't need to go all the way to the valley to make a worthy sacrifice. Astrid, do we have something like a god-made shrine in the hotel? I am afraid I don't know what you are talking about, Master. I mean, something like a shrine, but created by the gods themselves. I suppose they must be very old things, dating back to when this place was created. Does that give you an idea? Yes, a few come to mind. The hearth near the lounge, as you know, is a shrine to the goddess Hesida. The basin and the bedrock is a shrine to Hermes. We have a shrine to Hades in one of the gardens as well. I used to keep it in good shape, although I haven't gotten to it yet. But why do you ask? When I pressed Argos for more information, he said he would accept a sacrifice at any god-made shrine. Oh, we found a loophole. So yes, I don't think we need to make a big expedition to go sacrifice the bundle.
That is terrific news.
It is indeed. Wait, does this mean I'm getting put on nerd duty? Shit, I was looking forward to the hike, to be honest. Well, we can still send people out to the valley to find other useful stuff, I suppose. So Astrid and I will stay and make the sacrifice then. Maybe I shouldn't risk any encounters like yesterday's if it's not strictly necessary. So I have 3 options then. Ooh! Make a sacrifice to Hermes in the bedrock basin. Make a sacrifice to Hesha at the lounge hearth. Make a sacrifice to Hades at the garden statue. Okay, I know who Hermes is, and I know who Hades is. I don't know who Hesha is. Hold on, let me look up who Hesha is. Hesha. Ancient Greek religion, Hesha is the virgin goddess of the hearth, the right ordering of domesticity, the family, the home, and the state. Virgin goddess of the hearth, so she represents family, home, and state, I'm assuming? Oh. Huh. So, each one gives a different boost. Oh no, I don't know who to go for. So, alright, I would ask the audience to vote. So should we go for Hermes, who's the messenger of the gods and god of trade? Hesha, which is goddess of the hearth, which represents family domesticity. We got Hades, who represents the underworld, which is, the god of the dead. Okay, so Nivik is saying Hesha. Does anybody else have a vote? We also have Hermes and Hades. Who should we vote for? I'll give everyone a minute. I'm gonna give a minute and then we're gonna move on. Ooh, this is getting good. Is Hades the god of wrath too? Okay.
which one should we do? Oh, sorry. Alright, we'll go with, let me save. We'll go with Hisha. Let me start with the Hisha. So, Astrian, all I have to do is go back to the hearth next to the lounge and toss the bundle into the fire? More or less, yes. That's what I will do. As for the rest... Oh, God of Wealth. Other than Wrath. Alright, so we've got... Okay, so we got Luke doing exploration. Oh, I can't vote. Oh. Huh. Okay, so Astrian's unavailable. So I guess we'll keep everything the way it's been going then. What happens if I send him to explore? It's not worth it. Okay. I think we're fine with this. Alright, is everyone's role here clear? Very well, let's get to it then. Astrian hums the melody and a downward passage to the bedrock materializes next to the door leading to the staircase. You bid Coda farewell. You wish Luke good luck as he walks off towards the valley. You hold the bundle in your hands with a wide smile. You once again managed to trick the snake. Yes, we did. Well, want to get rid of this thing, Astrian? It would be a great pleasure, Mark. You and Astrian go to the hearth at the lounge, but on the way he calls for guests to follow. There will be a small celebration. At the hearth, Astrian begins by pouring handfuls of olive oil into his hands and then throwing it on the fire. The Minotaur then summons bottles of wine. He pours a long stream before the fire, which only seems to feed its brightness. He then pours wine for you and the guests, and tells them that they are free to enjoy it. He turns again to the flame. They do not understand the ritual, but appreciate the offer of alcohol. Hisha, daughter of Kronos, glorious is your portion, and your right in our abode. Yours is a grace which gives us purpose. Hisha, you stand highest among deathless gods and the wandering men who find rest in this realm. Come and dwell in our hospitable home and friendship. Grant us your favor in maintaining the hotel's man-made mission. Hail, daughter of Kronos, we shall fill this abode with guests and songs in your honor. He lays the offering on the fire, unafraid of burning the tips of his fingers. In seconds, a thick, bitter cloud of smoke sprouts and goes up the chimney. You and Astrian walk away from it, but not before the Minotaur pours out yet another splash of wine. I was taught how to venerate Hisha when I was a child, my lord. I am well acquainted with all of her rites. Ah, in another life I could have been a priest to her grace, so knowledgeable was I of her wisdom. And look at us, tending to a hotel. I am sure her grace looks at us with joy in her eyes, wherever she may be. That was very easy. You spend the rest of the day on your own, going through the usual routine. You spend some time manning reception, going to the lounge for lunch, and take an afternoon break in the master's quarters. Eventually the time comes to check in on both your teams. Let's check in on the R&D team. It looks like you've obtained a reward. Ah, no! Get out of here, Greta! I hate Greta. I don't like Greta at all. Get out of here, Greta! Get out of here. Mark, it's wonderful. Everyone's having a blast. Oh, hey, Greta. What's going on? Is the internet working? Greta. I said it, Greta. Oh, you were talking about internet? Oh, yes, the internet. Silly me. How could I forget? It is working. We did it, but that's not even the best thing. This whole experience has given me so many amazing ideas, such incredible visions for research. I wrote a document outlining a few of them and showed it to everyone. They're all so blown away by it. They can't even take more than one idea or two before needing a break. Oh, it's beautiful, Mark. Everyone back at the engineering department was so jealous. That's great, Greta. I'm happy to hear that. I'm sure everyone will love your ideas. So I take it everything is set up and well? Yes, absolutely. More or less. We've got the Wi-Fi to work, but there was a whole mess about getting an internet service provider, and we might be using the internet service provider our Guyans work for it, okay? So things are very makeshift on that end. You see, the broadband is very limited. But it works. Everything is in order. But if something goes wrong, I'm afraid I have no idea how to fix it. I'm not a networks engineer. Give me a break, okay? You might want to send an email every once in a while, and you'll have to pay the views too. But I'm sure that'll be easy for you with a magic hotel and all. Give me 1 minute. We're doing a stress test here. Be right back with you. That was a terrible German impression, but I remember she's German. I remember that much. You approach Coda.
Isn't this exciting news, Mr. Mark? I do not use my phone a lot, but being able to look up recipes to cater to guests the world over is definitely a boon to any restaurant. And of course, Miss Greta has been most attentive. I insisted it was not necessary, but since I was the least knowledgeable person in the room, she put me up to speed in a lot of these matters. I hope I will be more helpful in the future.
Coda's text stat went up by 1. Nice. Damn it, Nivik, why are you telling me this now? Nope, it's too late. We gotta keep going. I'm not going back. Nope. Damn it. We needed better internet. This is incredible news, so should I try to lock it in?
Why, yes, you shouldn't have a problem finding the network. That is the only one. It's called Minotaur Hotel. As for that password, well, it's... I hope I'm saying this right. And it... Excuse me, what?
Kota sighs and hands you a slip of paper. It's written in bright purple ink in what you assume to be Greta's handwriting. Network Durchschadung. Okay, we're gonna have to change that.
Yes, it would seem important to do so. She was nice enough to leave instructions on how to do it.
So, Minotaur Hotel. Okay, that's memorable and to the point, I suppose. You log in, and for the first time in a long while, your Wi-Fi icon lights up. You managed to establish internet access in the hotel. You can see your completed tech project under the tech tab in the file screen in the pause menu. The excitement in the room is palpable, but you have other responsibilities to attend to. You congratulate the team on a job well done and go check on the exploration team. Let's check in on the exploration team. Your team found 3 raw materials. Other than that, your exploration team didn't make any new big discoveries. Okay. I will accept that. The valley's shadows crawl up the hotel's entrance. They extend from the hills and cliffs far ahead, and from the shrubs and trees further down the slope. They mingle and mix together in a labyrinth of shadows, creeping and growing its way to your feet. If you could ride these tendrils of darkness, follow a branch's shade to that of the jutting rocks beside it, then hop to the great cliff's imposing shadow, you would find that they are all connected. The labyrinth is in the crawling shadows, in the snaking river beds, in the vast networks of cracked earth extending well into the horizon. And beneath it all there is a stirring, something awakening, drawn to your existence, the existence of its master. When you stop and plant your feet on the ground, it's easier to notice, a dull hum which comes and goes, grave and slow. Then a crack. A dry branch breaks, followed by a gray mass shifting beneath the brush. Argos reveals himself. You are a bit late.
I am sorry, my lord. You see, I was just doing my rounds, tending to my beautiful gardens. But I am here after all. It's getting late, so how about we waste no time and get right down to business? Well, I'm afraid I do not see anyone going up the plateau to make an offering. Tell me, my good lord, what happened? You have strafed despair, and there is a whole hotel brimming with people you could use for your goals. What made you fail in such a simple task?
Well, I don't think I failed at all. You see, I was thinking back to our little conversation the other day. I recall you saying that any god-made shrine would do. Is that not correct?
That is correct. Any of the shrines would do. But, oh, where could our fine lord be going with this?
I fulfilled the mission, of course. It just happens that I made the offering to another shrine, one inside the hotel. There is the hearth lit by that sacred mirror. Is it not Hisha's shrine? We burned the offering in the fire, and now it burns brighter than ever before. So, I fulfilled my part of the bargain, Argos. An offering to one of the god-made shrines just as you instructed. Now it's your turn. Oh, he's so surprised. Hi, Ghosty. How you doing? The snake slithers away while keeping his gaze locked on you. He scratches his head, first over the skin he wears as a cloak, then with both hands going under it. His tongue darts in and out of his mouth, culminating with him hunching over as if consumed by nausea. But when he looks up to you again, he seems unfazed by what you just said, or perhaps even cheerful. He lets out a whimper. You have to strain your hearing to catch it, but he sways left and right until he slips further into a teeth ring, like the harp string sweetly plucked. All at once the strings snap. In a burst, Argo's laughter spreads down the spiraling valley, up in the hallway's stairway. He rides out waves, from a giggle leaking from his jaws to a back-bending uproarious bellow, until he regains enough composure to muster a proper reaction. In the blink of an eye, he lunges at you, arms spread wide. You feel his tail coiling around you from behind just as he makes contact with you. You brace yourself to fight back for dear life, and indeed get as far as throwing your fist back in preparation to punch him in the face. But something feels off. He's not constricting you. Argos is giving you a hug?
By the 12, you'll be the best master this valley has ever seen! Who knows how many generations of human masters across the centuries? Rich and poor, stupid and smart, wretched and heroic.
Argos' embrace tightens around you, forcing a lungful of air out of you. It would seem like he's trying to constrict you, if he wasn't burying his snout in your shirt like a puppy.
And to think that I, of all people, shall hold the honor of serving the greatest master yet! You are a snake, you are, as elegant and as treacherous as we come.
When he looks up at you, beaming with a smile, you can't stop yourself from noticing there's quite the strand of snot running down his snout, almost dripping down onto your shirt.
What a privilege to be born at such an age, to serve one like you!
Okay, Argos, that's very sweet of you. You are a good boy. Now, can you let me go? He disengages and slithers back to a respectable distance.
I am? Well, of course I am! After all, there is no follower more loyal than I!
I don't know about that. I actually got a pretty good head start. You'll have to step it up if you want to be number one.
Step it up? But I have neither legs nor feet! I can only slither! Can't you please make an exception for me?
I'm afraid I can't. Lowering my standards is unacceptable. Let's be honest, if I'm not strict, how could I ever look you in the eyes and say anyone is number one?
I suppose you are right. Well, then I'll just have to show you how much better I am than Astrian.
You are welcome to try.
I bet he can't climb on trees and statues like I do, not with his hooves, and with these lips of his, there is no way he can play a flute.
He brings the flute up to his mouth again, but you nudge the mouthpiece away and hold it stationary. He still toots it once. He can play a lyre, and he cooks really well.
Bah! Useless! Useless! Why care about something as trivial as cooking food when you can just summon a hunk of raw meat and feast on it? Fire only removes the flavor!
I don't know, that sounds way too snake-like for my taste.
Oh, could it be my treacherous master does not share our taste for fresh meat? What a disappointment! Although I suppose you are already perfect enough.
Dusk has fallen as your little meeting progressed. Now it's so dark you can't tell the snake's general shape apart from the darkness. He notices you squinting at him.
Well, it's getting late, and the dangers of the valley are no laughing matter. It would be rude and irresponsible for me to keep you here any longer. Here, as I promised, a bottle of the valley's healing wine, harvested in your honor, in exchange for a display of the master's powerlessness. It is with great honor and joy that I fulfill my side of the bargain.
With a bow too elaborate not to be rehearsed in his spare time, Argos delivers the wine bottle. You obtained a wine bottle. Thank you. I'm glad you're such an upstanding snake, always upholding your promises.
That I would have you know is nothing less than my duty. I wouldn't be worth my own skin if I a careless liar. I look forward to our next encounter, good master. Rest assured that once more I'll attempt to trick you, expecting your wits to come out victorious, just like in the legends.
I'm not looking forward. I don't want to see you again, Argos. Stop it. Go away. You head back up, eager to bask again in the hotel's light. A smile is painted on your face, which only grows wider as you hear Argos' flute rising into a cheerful, distancing melody. Oh boy. There was something in Clement's eyes, a flickering spark. I caught sight of it. Oh wait, this is, I think this is Astrid. There was something in Clement's eyes, a flickering spark. I caught sight of it years before he became the master. I've seen it too often over the centuries, ever since Joseph first washed down the rivers in the valley. Such a human thing, that flame. It wants glory. It seeks to burn ever brighter so that my eyes shall lay upon its light. And to that end, it will play the role of a good Samaritan. It will dress itself in the fine fabrics of nobility, color its digits with polished rings and sparkling gemstones, walk with that broad-shouldered and wide-stepped gait. They, the masters of old, would extend a hand overflowing with wealth, all the richness which for them came at the hum of a song, and grin at how mighty the masses considered them to be. All eyes on their visage, all the guests and souls in this land, all brimming with love and respect. That's what Clement wanted, and for that he played the same game Jean-Marie did, but there was a difference. Not all men are cut from the same cloth. Those flames burning in their chest, they could not be more different. Jean-Marie had a vision. He had seen pain. It had crawled up in his chest, carved a hollow in his heart, and crawled inside it. When he looked at the guests, lacking limbs and glassy-eyed from that old war, his face scrunched just as his heart skipped a beat. It never stopped stinging, not as long as he was here, and not until his heart stopped beating. I know it surely as I know myself. Clement wanted adoration. Jean-Marie had a vision. Were there no eyes in this world, the good master would have done it all the same, knowing well that falling in obscurity was no issue at all. Old friend, who is this master who now reigns over us? I wonder, what flame lurks inside his chest? What is the catch? Why would a master free from whatever shackles can bind a mortal ever look down to us and consider us worthy of his effort? He knows how to rain diamonds from the palm of his hand. Food and shelter would never be an issue for him ever again, and company will be plentiful as the guests that flock to express their gratitude. Does he appreciate the arts? If so, his favorite artist may come and produce for him to his heart's content. The sciences bring his academics, teach them to generate all the materials they desire, and whatever mysteries eat away at him will be broken to pieces. Money, the easiest of them all, but one can wonder what money is good for when this realm has no scarcity. Anything he can describe can be created by humming his song. What is this master? What man is he? Why does he look at me like that? Why did he work to get me the wine? What is the catch? Why does he look at me like that? Does he not see what I am? That he can do what he pleases with me, or ignore my existence altogether as he enjoys all the earthly pleasures this land affords him? Perhaps he hasn't realized yet. Surely he will, in due time, and then it will be like the previous masters, when they too understood that I could be thrown aside. 60 years slinking away in the shadows, pretending I don't exist, trying to not bother them, doing my best to make them all forget I exist. Whatever good there can be for one such as I, greater misfortune follows. It won't be long now before I realizes what I am. That I am a dumb beast, that I will not be good enough to entertain him for long. All I can ask for is that he lets me be. But why does he look at me like that? Why did he promise not to send me out to the valley? A promise which cannot be enforced, and yet kept nonetheless.
Why did he, in front of the guests, call me his business partner? By the 12, to even give such credit to a slave. Why did he touch me? Why does he waste his time entertaining me? What is his goal by having a meal with me? The way he looks at me. By the gods, it feels like he's taking care of me more than I serve him. When he held my hand, there must be a catch. But the way he looks at me, am I at least allowed to?
Oh, wow. I feel so bad for Asher because he's been, like, the way his life has been, he just doesn't understand that somebody genuinely cares about him and wants him to be happy. And our character, the MC, generally wants Asher to be happy, and he cannot comprehend that with his predicament. That's a rough life. It's barely been over a week since you crossed the desert, glimpsed the valley below, and opened all the doors inside this hotel. Since that night when you and Asrian sat before the hearth, so much has changed. The hotel stands restored. Its once silent hallways are now peppered with footsteps and voices of guests. And the Minotaur, that broken down figure in the back of the cold room. As sure as the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, he too did change. Over the ages, masters came and saw virtue in serving the gods. After all, what could be more rightful than reenacting those old rites? And yet, so did masters arrive who saw fit to discard those old trappings and delve deep into something humane, and all the more unholy for it. To release a prisoner from his rightful sentence, to corrupt a holy realm to fulfill the whims of fickle humans, to spawn diamonds from one's hands, to house unclean and ill wretches, to divert this land's resources towards their own goals. What strange follies these humans do. Such gods may think, such Prometheus or another offers them fire, a fitting gift to burn fatty hecatombs, and it is used instead to warm one another's feet. What will this new master climbing up the grand staircase do with his mundate? When he looks at the prisoner and reveals his true self, does he despise the judgment of humans beneath his feet, or does he fear the gods, wherever they may be? Does he dream of standing up to the legacy of the old hero, Theseus, or will he content himself with being decent and no more special than his peers? Will his legs not tire of stepping two at a time and making good of strange dealings? Will his steps be accompanied, 3 steps to a step, by another? Whatever his choice may be, none may cast judgment, for the Lord holds all the power in this realm, and the gods themselves are nowhere to be seen. No checks and balances, no fear of reprisal, just a stone-made footprints of contracts and curses. Perhaps these too can be bent, except perhaps for that lone watchman down below, the keeper of divine will, what sharp eye he has. As for us, fret not, we shall not judge you. There is no trial. A man such as yourself holds no regrets in how you carry your affairs. Now let us not waste any more of the monarch's precious time. Before you lies the door, and behind it the prisoner awaits his captor. You finish your ascent and open the door, and there he is, sitting at the living room table while cradling his lyre. We got the wine. Upon your entrance, the Minotaur recoils of hit in the stomach. A held breath is punched out of him. It takes him a moment to even look to one side and see you there, and another to see the wine, that dark shape in your hand looking so odd, swirling and sloshing. The Minotaur opens his mouth to speak and lingers silent. He shudders, chills running up his spine all the way to the back of his head. Then it assaults him again, that terrible sensation, as if hummingbirds were pecking at the back of his head. It seems as if he was about to speak, but with all the turbulence he just takes a breath instead. Are you okay? He exhales a little harder, his nostrils flaring to a snort. Yes, master, I am fine. I am just a little shocked, even now. The Minotaur has not stood up. You shake the bottle in this direction. Well, don't look at me like a deer in headlights. Get over here. The Minotaur's breathing is short and agitated, as if he was resting from a sprint. His eyes betray some kind of daze. A deer? Me? Upon hearing your words, he reaches up and caresses his horns, checking if they had become antlers, and stands at the command. He approaches, arms sticking straight down to his sides, as if he didn't know what to do with them. Perhaps he expected more aplomb, more ritual. To be handed the bottle like this, as a friend would deliver a parcel, makes his movement tentative. Astrian extends his hands and gingerly takes it. His grip is so gentle that the surface of the bottle glides over his hand. Just a moment of distraction would be enough to make it slip. His thumb brushes some tarnish from the neck as he watches the sediment shift with every movement. He lines off a lamp and looks through the glass as if it had a wide dark sea. His eyebrows are pursed. His gaze is implacable. His tail droops straight down and goes immobile. He stands like a statue when he should be jumping for joy. Is this the real deal? Is it not the right wine? So help me God, if that snake screwed with us like this. No, this is it. It's just... The Minotaur's ears flick as he trails off into his thoughts. He uncorks the bottle with delicate care and raises it to his nose. He inhales, then his shoulders collapse as he sets it on the table. Argos did not lie. However, excuse me, master. Perhaps I rose too quickly. I need to sit down. He looks from the bottle to you, to the window, to the leer, back to the bottle. His eyes are wide open, his nostrils flare with each short breath. He tries to look back to you, but something has changed. His eyes look dulled as if he'd lost in thought. What can I do? What can I do to repay this? His kindness will cease if I do not repay him. How could he go so far out of his way to undertake this? He cannot possibly mean anything but to further some kind of use. What am I getting into here? There must be a catch. There always is. Just like what happened with Thenios. One cannot liberate another without taking shackles of their own. So why would he do this? What does he want from me? I am indebted now. Beyond being a slave, I now have yet another leash on my neck. It would have been better if had he never gone through the trouble. Why even bulk and chatter in your head like this? It doesn't matter what you think. He gave you something, so you need to take it. Stop dawdling. Don't touch up. It is the polite thing to do. He gave you something, so take it. For nearly a minute now, the Minotaur has been silent, unmoving except for twitching ears and furrowing eyebrows. Astrian, are you sure there's nothing wrong? Thank you, but he stands while speaking, but stops. He takes another step forward, but does not meet your eyes. I apologize for speaking over you, master, but thank you. He raised his arms halfway to his chest. It's not quite a shrug. Thank you, just... Hey, listen, it's fine, okay? You seem to be a little overwhelmed today. I understand that. I was just talking with Argos after all, and I know that can get to you. This has been such a busy week aside from the entire valley situation. So, don't worry, okay? Everything is fine. Now, how about you have a drink? Let's go step by step. Do you want a glass? No, it's fine. I can drink from the bottle. Okay, so now have a drink. The Minotaur nods. He squares his shoulder and breathes out in what one can assume is relief. As you wish, sir. Thank you. He takes the bottle. As he brings it to his mouth, he looks at you again to make sure it's okay. You make your own almost shrug in response, so he drinks. He begins with a paused gulp to appreciate the wine's flavor, to breathe in and out before getting to it. His nostrils flare in a snort as the wine, enjoyable as it may be, burns his throat. The Minotaur closes his eyes and throws his head back. His Adam's apple bobs with each mouthful, and the bottle bubbles as its contents are emptied around the imperfect seal of Astrian's lips. All the while, nothing happens. He remains exactly the same, an ear still without fur and an eye. The hotel shudders, the floor beneath you quakes, and you hear it again. The groaning sound of the obicide and at the bedrock rubbing against itself. Oh, jeez, is he gonna change again? Oh, no, is he gonna change again? Oh, what is he gonna change? I'm concerned. Oh, jeez. Huh. Oh, I'm very curious. What am I gonna get into now? It almost sounded like a faraway yell. Oh, jeez. Get ready for Astrian's final form. Oh, we're about... Oh, is this his final form? Oh, jeez. Oh, what's he gonna look like now? The table groans as Astrian bangs the empty wine bottle against it. His tails flick over floor. His eyes are shut tight. His left eye is closed for the first time in a long time, and he seems to be concentrating on it. What? What? Whoa! Wait! Why is he so... What? Oh my gosh! Wow! I was not expecting that! I was expecting, like, wasn't... Well, he just ripped that shirt we bought him. Oh, was this the scene you were... Wait, does he always come shirtless, or was that because the shirt we gave was too small? Holy crap! Jeez! He's so freaking big! That's a big boy right there. Oh my goodness! Wow! Oh, wow. Huh? How do you feel? I feel fine. A tad tipsy. It is quite unsettling having two eyes again after so long, but in a good way. The Minotaur shakes himself like a dog would when trying to dry itself. His ears and tail flop around. I feel heavy. It's been so long since I've been like this. I hope this is how I used to look like, more or less. I hope you aren't. Oh my gosh, look how freaking big he is! Jeez! I wasn't whoa! Modern shirts are too small. Oh, Nivik, is this what you were looking for? Oh, Nivik, you're something else. Okay, so like, oh, he can't wear, oh, wow. Wowie, wow. Now, don't worry about a thing, Astrian. Everything's fine, and in fact, you look great. Oh, Thank you. But maybe we should get going. Don't you have the concert? By the 12th. You look at their amazing the shirt you made for Astrian lying on the ground and throwing the shreds now. I am very sorry, Master. This is why I prefer togas. My neck doesn't get along with tight collars. Oh, he looks so adorable. Oh. Don't worry, he'll get bigger. Modern shirts, okay. Oh, don't worry, he'll get big. For a minute there, Nivik, I thought you said don't worry, he'll get bigger. I was like, no, I don't think he's big enough. Jeez. If he gets any bigger, he's not gonna fit through the normal doors. Well, don't worry about it. We can mend it later. Right now, you should be getting ready for your show. Yes, I should. His ears flick as if to shake off forgetfulness. The Minotaur moves about the room to straighten himself up, gather his lyre, and make sure of the tuning of the strings. As he gets involved with his lyre, you listen to him muttering. Here and there, you snatch a word or two. Got yourself lost in wine. Whoo-wee! Sweet! Oh, jeez! Oh, he's so big! What? Like, oh my gosh! Jeez. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Aliko said, and it's true. In Aletia, between the few words you comprehend, there are streaks of hums trying to hit the lyre's notes. When he gets back to being ready to leave, lyre in hand, his face contorts into surprise to see that you're still there. Master, I thought, thank you again. What were you saying back there, if you don't mind me asking? Noi? It's, Alakios. In Oni Noi Alitia. He sang a lot about drinking, that there is truth in wine. I mean, drinking helped me loosen up a bit. I didn't know what to say, but it helped. Huh? I'm curious. I'm curious, doesn't the hotel translate what people say? Shouldn't I have heard the translation? But I suppose that doesn't matter for another time. How about we go to the lounge together? Astrian tenses his jaw. He looks down to your feet and as if lost in thought. Yes, master, very well. You and Astrian head out side by side. It's night out. The grand staircase is draped in darkness, but a glimpse towards the heavens reveals the twinkling stars, an immense foamy sea moving ever so slowly. Murmurs and song crawl up from the ground floor. So, what do you have in mind for tonight? Just a few of the old songs I know. Nothing special. In fact, they may sound odd for modern sensibilities. They are. Astrian sighs and looks down to his lyre. He rubs his thumb over the side of it, back and forth, followed by a flick of his ears. There's a rhythm to him. His thumb is twice as fast as steps downstairs. His ears flicker after every third step, and his tail swishes after every fifth. Then he almost stumbles. He's not yet used to his new center of gravity. He puts a hand on the guardrail and snorts. As soon as he takes his next step, he stumbles again. You reach out to hold his hand. Are you sure there's nothing wrong? Sorry, master. I'm just a bit in my head. You attempt to let go of his hand, now larger and rougher than before, but his fingers curl around yours and resist, at least until he gingerly lets you go. He takes a breath and seems to concentrate. You reach the ground floor and take that hallway to the lounge. The lights aren't lit yet, so you and Astrian walk in darkness once more. Further ahead, there's a slit of light flowing from the lounge's door, and beyond is the hallway that leads you to the kitchen where you found Astrian mere days ago. The guests' laughter and voices, Luke's boisterous shrieks, Coda's rumbling bass, and now your footsteps mix with the clopping of Astrian's hooves. His gait is larger than yours now, lumbering slow movements, each step swaying him like a pendulum from side to side. Still, the two of you find a common rhythm, 3 of yours for every second step of his. You're almost there now. You look to the Minotaur. He looks away, then back to you and brings his gaze down to your feet. I'm sure you'll do fine, Astrian, but good luck. I'll get you a cup of water for when you go on stage. You turn to move away, but the Minotaur's hand catches yours. He pulls you close with a stiff jerk, then wraps you with his other arm. He squeezes you, but in an almost glacial, gentle way, mixed with the warmth of his skin and breath around you. Despite his newfound bulk, Astrian is soft, his fur like silk against your skin and spreading around you like a gentle scent. No fragrance except for a distant note of warm fur and tanning skin. His hooves shuffle, not knowing where to step, but each movement is shy. They graze the floor instead of stomping it, afraid of so much as scraping your shoes. He lays his head on top of yours, with his muzzle in particular nuzzling against your hair. He grumbles something, and it takes a few tries for him to say it out loud. Thanks. Thank you. There was warmth around you, but also tension. Astrian's movements remain jerky and stiff. Your own surprise passes over, however. You respond to his hug in kind. His tail jerks and swishes in response, then droops. A rumble escapes his throat as you squeeze his midsection. The tension dissipates. His shoulders relax, his arms fit and mold around you. The weight of his head falls on yours. He breathes through your hair and nuzzles you. His pink nose is soft, even a bit wet. You squeeze him harder, but with the same glacial pace his own movements displayed. You're met with another grunt, although by now you can tell it's not one of complaint. Ooh. The two of you remain very still as the voices further ahead celebrate and share their own victories. Their brief nights of rest, or perhaps even a newfound home. Just out of sight, surrounded by light, they celebrate. And here in this velvety darkness, you and Astrian breathe each other's scents. When the time comes to say goodbye, the two of you relax your fingertips, then hands, and finally arms as bit by bit you disentangle yourselves. Just like that, it's over, and the only evidence left of this gesture, besides the sweet memory, is the Minotaur's quickened, shallow breathing. He looks down to his clothes, now rumpled, and moves to tidy them before looking back to you, then to the lounge in his lyre. The moment for departure is at hand. It's time for his concert to start. He turns halfway, and then swivels back to you, mouth agape and eyes seeking words. That stiffness returns by degrees to his movements. He grumbles something, perhaps another thank you, although he seems to transition to another more complex phrase you couldn't quite catch. Thank you, I enjoyed that. You don't gotta be all flustered, it was nice of you. Again, thank you. Thank you, also. The growing agitation does not dissipate, but it does not increase either. So, feel free to hug me again if you wish. May I do the same to you? Well, yes, Master, that would be very pleasant. Thank you. Something shifted his eyes. There was once a sharpness there, perhaps a measure of fear. It had wavered in and out like a flame resisting the wind, ever since you released him from the cold room. But it's gone for now when he sees you. Sometimes I look at you and it's like I'm seeing an old friend I knew back in Kriti, like a little window into the past. Is that a good thing? Yes, friends are very precious. Oh, he's smiling! Yes, friends are a very precious thing, Mark. Perhaps I want to believe. I was so confused today, but the wine must have loosened me, and now... I'm rambling, I know, forgive me. The Minotaur's ears flicker as the voices inside the lounge get rowdier. He budges of turning back to the door, but his eyes don't want to leave you. The Minotaur takes another deep breath. With an almost identical, almost rehearsed movement, he grabs you close again in his arms, but more gentle, more deliberate. He only holds you for a second, too short for you to even respond in kind. Before you know it, he lets you out of his brief embrace again. He doesn't quite meet your gaze. You, said I could hug you again if I wished, so... You laugh. I did say that and I did mean it, so... Thank you again. Shall we go in? He nods to you. He smiles to himself, and he nods again to you. You take a step forward, and side by side the two of you go in. Well, the stage should be set. Do you want to go get ready? Yes, I should do that. The atmosphere in the lounge tonight feels festive and lively, a far cry from when you first came here. Koda, who on any other day would run his restaurant like the proud captain of a tight ship, is not bothered by the chatter and festive mood of the room. Luke sits next to the Aragayan workers. He's scooting a little too close to the burliest of the pair, laughing at all his jokes and making some of his own whenever possible, much to the others' courage. Ishamal and Greta are sitting at one of the tables far away. The former is glued to his phone watching something, while the later is pushing him to socialize. And to think, just a week or so ago, this place was dead and bloodstained. What an accomplishment. You turn to Astrian as he gets up on the stage. The Minotaur covers his eyes, the lights glare at him, carving a dull pain into the back of his head. He looks down to the steps leading up to the platform, and goes step by step as he lumbers with the new weight of his body. 20 or so set of eyes are fixed on him, on his bullish features, his horns, his newly healed self. It's been a while since he has been in the spotlight like this. Back when he was a child, old woman would come and put flowers on his horns, dozens of ladies in succession, and he would cover his eyes in much the same way then. They would ask for his blessings, the men would plead he blessed their crops, until it became too much. He'd cry and his father, wet nurse, would pull him away and scald him for throwing a tantrum. He cradles the lyre against his chest. A string grazes his shirt and lets out a hum, and sends out a spark of confidence. He moves his arm away, pulls a stool, and sits down. Astrian adjusts the neckerchief you made for him, showing an off of a pride to all his guests. He looks at the guests, each and every one of them in succession, then to you. Hey, hello everyone. I think I should introduce myself first. My name is Astrian, and as you can see, I am not exactly human. I work here at the hotel. It's where I spend most of my life in a way. He traces his thumb along the string again, letting it vibrate into the air, not quite plucking it. Until last week, this place was abandoned. It was just me here. I'm glad to see people again. So many new faces. So, among you are our first guests after our reopening, and I know some of you are leaving tomorrow morning. So we thought it would be nice to do something special. This is for you, our guests. But I am dedicating it to a friend. I hope you will enjoy tonight, and that when you leave, that you take with you fond memories. If you ever need a home or just a place to rest, our doors are open. The Minotaur positions his lyre and breathes. Oh, there's a thumbnail. He places his fingertips along. Look at Luke! Luke looks like he's in love. By the way, just to let people know, when I'm looking for thumbnails, I usually skip over stuff and I just try to get to the CG scenes. So I had no idea what happened before this point. So, just a fair warning. This is all new to me. Everything I did so far was new to me. He places his fingertips along a few strings on one side of the lyre and strums with his other hand. He begins to hum. It gets louder through plaintive notes of the chant-like rhythm. He says a few snatches of words and he begins to pluck out the melody he hums. Only the last line did he sing out. A look of these words. A look of consternation and worry fading into simple calm as the last notes fade to silence. I hope you don't mind. I didn't sing that one. I found just as I got on stage I could not remember the words, so I hope the strings alone would do. I wasn't quite sure what the muses were with me this evening, but the 9 of Helican are here, it seems, and they deserve acknowledgement before I continue. My older brother taught me to play, and one of the first things you do in a performance is invoke the muses, he said. Tonight they did not see fit to remove song completely from me, and made me remember my brother. May my song's reverence with them be always as their mercy is to me. So, I thank you, muses, who were not cross with me. Please aid my song. He plucks another melody out, a single line of notes stretching through the room, strings left to ring out. Once you notice how much the melody has the contour and cadence of speech, you hear his fingers stop a few strings. He strums again and begins to sing, putting words to what he just played. It is not quite a bellow, but his bovine throat is open as his voice rumbles out an epic hum. A lyric. A drinking song. While the song lasts, he is shameless. His presence flows and captivates. His heaviness was nevertheless burdensome. Between each of these, however, Ashian's bashfulness returns as he explains what the song is about. But while he sings and while he plays, he's not self-conscious. His eyes aren't closed out of shyness, but out of feeling like himself. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed your stay, and thank you once again. Oh. I'm probably going to stop there. I think we're going to stop there. Who is this? Alright, we'll go through this part. I've been having the strangest dreams lately, Dad. Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Uh-oh. Oh, this is different. I see into this dark room. It looks like some kind of ancient Greek temple or something. At the middle of it, there's a big hunk of purple rock. Is this a peacock? I've been having these ever since Grandpa died, and we had this whole thing about his will, but lately it's different. There were people there. A number of them, actually. And, you know, one of them was a Minotaur. Just like Grandpa said. I've been thinking about it, yes. I mean, it's not like I have anything better to do right now. I got a job offer, kinda, but they don't know for sure yet. And I have some savings. Well, I've been thinking about paying Grandpa a visit. A little car trip. Who knows, maybe. Maybe stories about the hotel are true after all. I want to find that out for myself. Now, that's a very mean thing to say about your own father. You taught me better than that. Listen, none of that is going to stop me. You might as well save yourself the effort. Oh, is this going to be our next guest? Or our next important guest? It's best if I hang up now. Goodbye. Ooh. Fucking piece of shit. I'll show you. It is a peacock. Oh. Yep. Chapter 13, Little Star. We're going to stop here. That must be our next important guest. Oh, I can't wait. God, it looks so weird to see this. Nope. We're stopping here. Perfect point to stop. Perfect part to stop. All right, everyone. Well, we had a lot happen this chapter. We got the wine for Astrian. We tricked Argos. We got the wine for Astrian. Astrian is now in his final form. His final form is now complete. Final form complete. He looks like he's starting. It looks like he's starting to trust again. He's starting to trust the MC. We're starting to get him to open up a little bit. Coda and Luke are starting to get along. Like they still have they kind of have a little bit of a rivalry going on, but they're starting to get along a lot better than they were in the beginning. And yeah, it looks like we had ahead of our next important guest is going to be coming to the hotel. And we officially are now called the Minotaur Hotel. And we have internet! There's internet! There is a god! There are gods after all! There's internet at this freaking hotel in the middle of a desert. Or valley. Or whatever you want to call it. So, oh. Fun note, in the bedrock room there are some peacock feathers on the table. Ooh, that's a... I'll have to recheck later when I check back this game. But yeah, I'm going to stop here. I think it's the perfect part to stop. I'm not sure what the current update goes, what chapter it goes up to, but I think this game is I think this VM does really good doing chapter. I think it worked perfectly for it. The chapter format works perfectly. Yes, Astrid is very buff now. He's a very big man. So, we'll have to see where things go. Looks like Astrid is starting to trust the master a lot more than he was. Looks like he's starting to consider him almost like a friend. Hopefully that won't backfire. And Argos has some begrudging respect for us. Argos finally gave us some begrudging respect. So I'm excited to see what exactly our next guest is going to bring to the table. Coda brings a little bit of tech and hospitality. Luke brings a kind of adventurous spirit. So I'm curious to see what the next guest will bring. The peacock looked like he kind of was The peacock looked like he was more of a tech kind of guy, so we're going to have to see what he does. But anyway, hopefully we'll get to that next part. Thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by. I like to always say this before I end the stream. If you really like what I do, feel free to subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, don't forget to like the videos. It helps me push through the stupid YouTube algorithm. Feel free to like the video, and don't be afraid to share it if you really enjoy what I do, but you think other people will like what I do. And yeah, also if you really enjoy what I do and you want to help me keep making these videos, don't be afraid to donate. PayPal information is down in the description below. I will be changing the thumbnail sometime today or tomorrow. I'll be tweaking a little bit, adding like the the title, cover art, and whatnot. But yeah, I will try to get to this either the end of this week or early next week. And I definitely will be... Next thing I'll be working on is doing more the Beast streams, more streams for this game. And I want to work on some other videos. So with that being said though, take care everyone. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you on the next stream. Bye everyone. Take care. Bye.